Welcome back to another episode of Ask Jess. I'm Jess Marcy. I'm a clutter coach, and every Tuesday at 11:30 I go live here wherever you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, in our It's All Clutter Free Facebook community. I go live and answer some decluttering questions that have been posted in our groups or have come in specifically for me to answer during the week. Now, one big request, if you're watching this and you're finding this content to be valuable, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share these videos. This content is entirely free. I intend for it to always be that way, but you can make a massive difference in supporting keeping this content free just by liking, commenting, and sharing and subscribing and doing all those things. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's dive right into our questions for the week. Today is Tuesday, January 16th. We're having a snow day here. And we have 4 questions that we've pulled for this episode of, well, we were calling it Ask Jess. Now we're calling it Ask a Clutter Boss. Ask a Clutter Boss. Okay. Number 1, I do have a quick question that came to mind while I was watching a previous video. I've noticed that when I go through several boxes, I find things I literally forgot I had. And by the time I keep a little from each box, I'm right back again. Mainly emotional attachment to items. A big trigger was when my best friend went to heaven 9 months ago. So number 1, I just want to say my heart is with you. I have lost very close friends in my life as well. And it's painful. It's a painful thing. And it definitely, when we're grieving and we have stuff, it makes it more complicated to tackle that stuff. If you have recently lost someone, I think that there's 2 things we have to keep in mind when decluttering. Number 1, not every item that we have is actually that person, right? So we see things, we think about the person, but it's not like the thing is the person. So it's just kind of important to put that into context in the beginning, but also the one of the biggest components that we need to remember when we're decluttering and we're grieving is that time will help. And sometimes we don't have the luxury of time. We have to go through somebody's stuff pretty quickly. But other times, if we just put this collection back where we found it and come back to it after 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, give it some time. Time changes our perspective and can make decluttering items that are associated with the loss of a loved one really, it can be a big game changer in the whole process. I want to talk a little bit, though, about memories, because I think we believe a memory is a single, almost tangible item. Like it's one thing that we have or we don't have. And this is this all or nothing mindset that we have, which we apply to many things besides our memories or in addition to our memories. It doesn't help us at all. And it's also not true. So memories, if we think about, if we research a little bit about memories, which I have been doing lately, and I wanted to share this with you, modern science shows that a memory is more about reconstruction than retrieval. We piece together various bits of stored information to assemble a memory. So a memory is not a single item. It is a collection of many different bits of information that we assemble to create. Every time we have a memory, we're assembling a lot of different little bits of information stored in our brain and recreating whatever that experience was, which is why we all have different memories, right? Like we attend the same event, but our perception of the event, our memory of the event is going to be completely different from somebody else's because we're retrieving bits of information, and our bits of information are not the same as other people's bits of information. But even more importantly, and this is the next thing I have here, you construct stories of past events from fragments of memories in accordance with your current self narratives. So you can construct stories of past events from fragments of memories in accordance with your current self narratives. Think about a memory that you have that has shifted over time. Maybe it has something to do with your childhood. You were raised a certain way. You had an experience in your childhood that you always had a negative association, like a negative memory, a negative association with that. But as you've grown and learned more, maybe had similar experiences with your own children or who knows what, you look back at that memory and you think about it differently. Maybe it doesn't have a negative association anymore. You shift your perspective because your current narrative changes as we grow. We have experiences that change the way that we remember things. So, all of this to say, when you are looking at boxes full of memories and you're concerned, you're very sentimental about the memories hold a lot of grief. You're afraid to let go of something because you're afraid you're going to lose the memory. A single memory is not a thing that you can actually lose. A single memory is not a thing. A memory is a collection of bits of information. So you can't lose, you can't throw out a memory. You can't lose a memory. You can always recreate the memory anytime you want to. And having, with the friends that I have lost, I don't think that I have one single thing that triggers specific memories. Over time, I lost a very close friend about 14 years ago. So over time, I have turned single memories into more like feelings and more um well, let's say if you have lost somebody close and it's been a while, I'm curious how you relate to your memories of that person now. If you feel like sharing in the comments, please do. This is an interesting comment here. I have so much pain all over and I can't even really remember. Yeah, sometimes the pain does totally block the memories. And this is where time does help. I mean, there's no great solution, right? But just with the passage of time and with the support, if you are really grieving and blocking out memories, it can really help to have the support of a grief counselor to help you process all of these emotions. The memories are never gone. They're never, ever, ever gone. They're there, and sometimes they're blocked, and sometimes there's a lot of pain around them, but they are there. And with support, a lot of love for yourself, a lot of patience with this process, things do change over time. We always recommend do not tackle memorabilia or sentimental items at the beginning of the decluttering process. This is something that is always done after you've had time to process all of the easy stuff and after you've had time to process the experience that has created the sentimental or very emotionally attached triggers with your stuff. So I would say process that last, and also know yourself. If you are in a good headspace to go through memorabilia, then go ahead and go through it. If you are not in a good headspace to go through memorabilia and you're going through these boxes and you come up with something that is very emotional, very triggering, just have a spot for it to land. When we're decluttering, you never have to make a decision right this second. You can always give it time and then make a choice to go through the very sentimental stuff when you have the right supports in place. So just have a landing spot for all of those very sentimental memorabilia triggering things that you find going through the boxes. Put them into one spot. Put those boxes someplace where they're not going to get destroyed, where you don't have to see them every single day, but know where they are and know that when you're ready, have confidence and faith in yourself. When you're ready, you will be able to go through them if you choose to, or when you choose to, on your timeline with the supports that you need. This is how you kind of set yourself up for success with these sort of collections. Just looking through the comments here. So feel free to keep this discussion going in the comments. And please always remember, just be as respectful as humanly possible in writing your comments, understanding that we don't know what anybody else is ever going through, has gone through. So just reach out with kindness and love I find the best comments are the ones that are simply supportive and aren't saying do this or do that, right? Our place, human to human, is to hold each other and support each other and allow everyone to have space to think about, consider, and make decisions that are best for them. So, whenever we're in a community setting, this is just a little side note, it's always so helpful to just support or say, I was in a similar situation. This is what I did, not this is what you should do, right? Because that comes across when you're reading it as directives and orders. Our role in this community, in our decluttering communities, and just in general, love and support, love and support. Have faith and trust in other people that they are going to figure out the best solution and decision for them. Okay, so that's wow, we went deep. We went deep in the beginning here, which is great. That's what we're here. We are here to talk about the real stuff, the real decluttering. This is not put your stuff in pretty boxes, make it look great, and pretend that there's no emotional attachment. No, this is real decluttering, the real discussion about how complicated this all is. There is a question in the comments here, so let me pop to that, and then I'll go back to the ones that I have written down here. When you declutter and move some items to where they actually belong, what if there's no room to store them in that space? That is a great practical question. So what happens is when you start decluttering, you have a ton of commingled collections. A commingled collection is, think about your junk drawer. You open it up and there are so many different types of items in there that don't belong together, except they were just shoved in there, right? Or just like dropped in there or whatever. So we start to pull them apart. We have the electronic stuff over here. We have cosmetics over here. We have change over here. We have pens and pencils and office supplies over here. So say we take all those cosmetics and we move them to the bathroom, which is where they belong. But then you open up the bathroom drawer or cabinet and you find a huge collection of commingled stuff, and there's no space to actually put what belongs there. This is what we call temporary chaos. Decluttering is a process of creating temporary chaos over and over and over again until everything has a space or a home. So I think it's important to remember as we declutter, if you don't have space where something is going to live, it is okay to put it A, in a different spot for now, or B, put it near that space for now. And as you are going through this, really push yourself to let go of stuff. We only have a certain amount of storage space in our homes. And the goal with this process is to live within that storage space. Real talk here, real talk. Most people have to declutter at least 50% of their stuff to be living within the storage they have in their house. And I don't mean go out and buy boxes and bins and create more storage. No, that is not a solution. That adds more clutter and ultimately steals your time. It makes your life more complicated. The only real true decluttering solution, home storage organization solution, is to get rid of all of your excess storage, like plastic drawers, bins, all of that stuff. Live within the actual storage space that you have in your house. The closets, the real dresser, live within that storage space. That is the only answer. There is no other way that you can have an organized, functioning home, truly, truly functioning, where you don't have to lose time daily searching for things, stacking things, reaching for things, stressing about the storage, stressing about all of the stuff. If you want to have a truly functioning home, I'm not saying you have to be a minimalist by any stretch of the imagination, but you have to live comfortably within the storage in your house. We have never had more stuff than we have today, and that's okay. We have all of our stuff for a reason. It's basically a maladapted evolutionary thing that humans, we have always collected resources. Now it's just so easy to collect resources that it's creating a whole other problem. The problem is not that we don't have resources. The problem is that we have an overwhelming amount of stuff. We can't access the resources when we need them. So we have to recalibrate to live in this modern world. And that means just being super honest with yourself. How much stuff do you have to get rid of to live comfortably within your space? Not to have all of your storage space completely full, to live comfortably within that space. The more you can let go of at the beginning of this process, or the sooner that you can let go of a lot of stuff, the faster this is all going to go and the easier your life is going to be. So if you get to the situation where you're trying to put stuff away, there's no space, can you go through that space and get rid of just all of the excess, all of the extra stuff? Can you push yourself to let go of that stuff? Because that's what makes the biggest difference the fastest. We only have so much time on this earth. We can choose to spend our time dealing with stuff or having experiences. We can do a little of both, but the less stuff you have to deal with, the more you can experience life, experience the positives and the negatives. Having less stuff helps you live in all ways. And that is, I think, the ultimate goal of decluttering. All right. Let's see here. Clutter Fairy out of Houston is a professional organizer, and she helps her clients choose a representative sample of sentimental things. They can start out big and get trimmed down. Yep, that's a very reasonable way to do this. Is think about in the beginning, if you're dealing with sentimental things, what are my top 5 things that remind me of this person in a positive way? Never let go of those. Compare the rest of the things to your top 5. Is this even close to number 1, or is it really insignificant? Can I let it go? But again, don't do this in the beginning. Strengthen those decluttering muscles on the easy stuff first. Okay. All right. Moving along here. I've just moved 3 days ago. The extra boxes are piled up in the extra second bedroom. So the rest of the house has been decluttered and organized. And I do know who wrote this in. And I just want to say that is awesome that you got to the point of a decluttered and organized house, except for the extra second bedroom. That's phenomenal. I'm so proud of you. Unfortunately, I was in a car accident, and now the cluttered inside of my totaled car is in my living room. Sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you're okay. So happy about that. How can I rid myself of this new and old clutter? So cars are another space that we need to keep decluttered. The secret to car organization, ready for this? If you put it into the car, you have to take it out of the car. That's it. It is so simple. If you put something into your car, you need to take it out of your car. If you throw, like right now, I know I have a jacket in my car that I tossed into the back seat. It's just, I'm driving around with it. That needs to come out. I have a return in my back seat that needs to be returned. The only way to not have a cluttered car is to remove the stuff that you put into it every single day. Don't let it pile up in there. But if you are forced to, if you get into a car accident or something like that, and you have to take everything out of your car and it comes into your house, if you were just driving around with it and you were not using it, do you really need to keep it? If it just lived in your car because that's where it landed and it never was removed, do you really need to keep it? Probably not. Probably not. So if you have extras, if the stuff is just kind of like, I don't know, my car ends up with like a lot of pens, ponytail holders, scrunchies. I don't think they call them scrunchies anymore. I don't know. Random clothing that I took hiking or to the gym. I have headlamps in there because I hike in the dark a lot. Whatever. It's random stuff. Put it away or toss it. Put it away or toss it. It doesn't live in your car. It shouldn't live in your car. Cars are for transportation, not storage. It makes sense to have maybe a small emergency kit in your car that's very specific, but I know we tend to think of like worst case scenarios, right? What if something happens? I'm broken down and stranded in my car and I have to survive on what I have in there. I actually don't know anybody that's actually happened to. Typically, the situation is you have some sort of accident and you have to clean out your car, and then all that stuff comes into your house. And in that case, wouldn't it have been easier if you had less stuff in your car? It's always the reality. Less stuff is helpful. More stuff is a burden. So just be super realistic. Do I need to keep this stuff? Is it worth the time I'm exchanging? Is it worth the space I'm exchanging? Probably not. Feel free to let it go. Let it go. Okay. Uh, um, I finally have all of my clothes in the given storage in my home. It is a great feeling. Yes, it is a great feeling. It feels so much better to live in your space than to push the bounds of every square inch of your home and fill it to the brim. That is stressful. Living in your space is freedom. It is freedom. All right. Quick question while I'm in the mood to purge. How many sets of king size sheets do I need for a bed that is used every night? Okay, honestly, I have a king size bed. I have exactly one set of sheets for it because I don't want to store linens and I don't want to fold fitted sheets. This is a little bit controversial. I share this a lot, and you don't have to do this the way that I do this. I'm just sharing with you why I do it and why it works for me. I don't want to have to store linens. I have limited storage in my house, like all of us, right? I have limited storage. Do I want to be devoting that really valuable storage space, that closet space, to linens, to an extra set of sheets, or to 20 extra set of sheets? I personally do not. No, I don't. I don't want to deal with storing linens. I just wash my sheets, put them back on the bed. It's so much easier. It saves me so much time and space. Now, if you have children, if you have medical issues, if you are in a situation where there is a reason to change sheets in the middle of the night, and you need to have a second set, then by all means, keep that second set. Your house has to function for you today and your circumstances, which are not the same as my circumstances. But let's be like super realistic about the situation. If I ever needed to change my sheets in the middle of the night, what would I do? Probably sleep on a blanket or sleep in a different bed or pull out a sleeping bag. I mean, the worst case scenario, not that bad. It's not that bad. And if you're saving sheets for that kind of like what if, like really, what if you do need another set of sheets? Can you buy it in like a half an hour? I mean, can you replace those things like really easily and inexpensively? In the case of sheets, most likely the answer is yes. So why hang on to all the excess? Now, if you love linens, if linens are your favorite thing, if you are really into linens, keep a couple of extra sets. That's not me, right? That's you. Just be super realistic. There's no right answer as to how much you have to have, but if you push yourself to the minimal amount, you may find, again, a lot of freedom in that. Okay. Last question, which is good because we're almost out of time. I had a decent oil diffuser that I was not using and I got rid of it. I now want one. Who can relate to this? Have you guys experienced something similar? Yes. I will wait a few days to see if my need for a diffuser goes away. I was already picking one from Amazon. I stopped and posted this instead. Awesome, awesome job. This is the key here. It's so easy to bring stuff in. In order to become more conscious consumers and to stop the flow of stuff into our homes, we need to have a stop and think moment. Instead of saving your credit cards on Amazon so you can check out automatically, delete those credit cards. Give yourself time to think about the purchase, just a little breathing space. Do I really want to bring this back into my life? I wasn't using it before. What are the chances I'm going to start using it now? I think we all know the answer to that. I think we all know the answer to that. And just, know that you didn't use it to begin with. And it's okay. That's okay. We're learning. We're learning about ourselves. Maybe you're using your essential oils in a different way. Maybe you're making stuff with them. Maybe you're just holding them up and smelling them. I mean, you don't have to diffuse essential oils, right? Are you using your essential oils at all? Maybe you're not actually an essential oil person. I am not a huge essential oil person. I have a few. Occasionally I use them. But on the day to day, I'm not diffusing oils in my house. Sometimes my kids do, but just know yourself. Know yourself. And maybe instead of making that purchase, post into the group, get some positive feedback that you're making the right decision by not making the purchase, and take that money that you were going to spend on that purchase, put it into a savings account or a have fun account or a let's go on an amazing experience account. Save all that money that you are going to spend on stuff and turn it into an experience. There's a little thing that I see all the time, and we'll end on this. It's like a meme that goes around the internet, and it says, look around. All that stuff used to be money, and all that money used to be time. We can start to change this now. Turn that time and that money into an experience, or just put it into your savings account, because that also feels really good. Instead of turning it into stuff, your time and your money, keep it. Keep your time, keep your money, turn it into an experience. We don't need all this stuff. We really don't. I give you permission to stop shopping. Barbara, thank you so much for your comment. And Barbara, I'm going to go back and read your longer comments after this, and I will respond then. Okay, so as I noted in the beginning, this is free content. We intend to keep it free forever. But if you enjoyed this, please comment, like, please share. If you're on my YouTube account, please subscribe to my channel. It makes a world of difference, and it also keeps all of this content free. So if you like this, if this is helpful, if it could help somebody else, please do those things. Makes a massive difference, and it's deeply appreciated by me. All right. I will see you all next week. Same time, same place. Another episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. Have a great day.